Okay.
This is AYS Reactions, and welcome back to another reaction, another review. Today, guys, we're going to be on something a little bit different. Today, we're actually going to be reacting to a video that was suggested to me a while back. I'm just getting to it now. Apologies to the person who suggested it to me, but it's a very interesting topic. Basically, this is a video about Candace Owens. Basically, she is doing a hearing confronting basically white supremacy. It's a hearing court kind of thing. And for those of you who don't know who Candace Owens is, she's actually a Republican. She's in the political world. She's very pro-Trump, and she basically has expressed issues with the Democrats and the Black Lives Matter movement and things like that. She's not really for it. She feels that there are some concerns and issues with that group, and obviously being a Republican, she doesn't agree with how Democrats are handling things. So I was actually asked to react to this video and give my personal opinion on, you know, what I thought about the whole situation. So it's not a long video, it's about 5 minutes, so I thought I'd go ahead and check it out. It's kind of from what I've been told, it's kind of interesting to hear what she actually has to say on it. I'm definitely interested to see what you guys have to say on this matter. Let me know if this was something you guys, you know, talk about, you know, how you guys feel about it. I definitely want to hear your guys' opinions in the comments, but I'll definitely give my honest opinion on what I think of the video. So before we get into that, I just want to thank you guys so much for all the support. We are 100 subs away from getting to 2,000 subscribers, guys. Help me out. Let's get it going. Let's make the AYS crew even bigger. Just gonna continue to grow, man. I'm really excited. I just want to thank you guys so much for all the support you've been sending my way through all the videos and things like that. And again, just like in this situation, please let me know what you guys want to see from me. Obviously, I do the anime, but I love to branch out to other things. I love to talk about, you know, things like this, you know, social issues and things that are going on as well. You know, I'm very interested in that kind of world as well. So just let me know if there's anything you guys want my opinion on, or anything you guys want me to check out, react to. Let me know. I'm definitely all for it. But thank you guys so much for all your support, and let's go ahead and jump into the video. Let's get it going.
I just have to say that I object strenuously to your use of the word hilarious. To me, this feels a lot like your reaction to being named in one of these manifestos. Now, you're of course not responsible for the words of somebody writing that document, but I do think that laughing at it is a real problem, because these are real families that are impacted by this violence. And I think our efforts towards talking about this have to start from a place of mutual respect, which is what I've heard from this side of the table. Now, the reason we don't have those numbers, I want those numbers as much as you do, but to say the numbers don't show something is simply not supported by the data.
Okay, and I have 38 seconds left, Ms. Mulligan, if you can,
if
you want to respond within that time.
The only thing I would add is that it's in the name. Terrorism, domestic terrorism, it terrorizes us. It terrorizes us in our homes. It terrorizes us in our schools.
Of course. Yeah.
And to the points made by the other panelists, it is disproportionate to its impact on any individual life, and it's not.
You reject the idea it's something that doesn't matter, or it doesn't really matter?
Absolutely reject.
Okay.
Well, of course.
All right, so here's where we are. Every
definitely matters.
Now has had 5 minutes and. Okay, and Mr. Clay, so we have two members who have not. So I'm going to go to the two members who have not yet, and we'll give an opportunity for a closing thought to any member who wants before we go.
Am I next to respond, or is Mr. Meadows?
I thought Mr. Meadows was
next. Mr. Meadows, okay.
Mr. Meadows is next, then Mr. Clay, then to you, Mr. Jordan.
Ms. Owens, obviously this is a gang up on you. You know, we're giving these witnesses the ability to do a rebuttal on you, and so you know, I find it unfair, Ms. Ballou. I mean, you know, candidly, for you to show mutual respect and then you to go after Ms. Owens, it's not appropriate. So Ms. Owens,
okay.
You can have 4 minutes and 34 seconds to respond. However,
yield for a second?
I'll yield.
Thank you. I believe, Ms. Owens, when you used the word hilarious, it was in It was referencing the fact that no one had asked you a question. It wasn't to the subject matter of the hearing. Is that right?
That is correct.
And to have another witness insinuate something that is not accurate is just not appropriate, Mr. Chairman, for how witnesses are supposed to behave in front of this committee. I also think you didn't say it doesn't matter about the subject matter of today's hearing. You said there are other subjects that matter as well, and maybe we should spend some time on those. Is that accurate?
That is correct, and they matter much, 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 much more, and I have said that. I said that in my opening, and I will say it again. You know that white supremacy and white nationalism is ranks nowhere near the top of the issues that are facing Black America. And the reason that you are bringing them up in this room is because it is attempt to make the election all about race as the Democrats.
Not in my case, Ms. Owens. I'm sorry. Please do not characterize my motive.
Mr. Chairman, it's my time. It's my time.
You've got your time, Mr. Menendez. I'll give you 3 more seconds.
Oh, wow.
Every 4 years, you bring up race, and you knew exactly what I meant when I said hilarious, and you just tried to do live what the media does all the time to Republicans, to our president, and to conservatives, which you tried to manipulate what I said to fit your narrative, okay?
Ooh.
I was not referring to the subject matter that is hilarious. I said it's hilarious that we are sitting in this room today, and I've got 2 doctors and a missus, and nobody can give us real numbers that we can respond to so we can assess how big of a threat this is, because you know that it is not as big of a threat as you are trying to make it out to be, so you can manipulate. And the audacity of you to bring up the Christchurch shooting manifesto and make it seem as if I laughed at people that were slaughtered by a homicidal maniac is, in my opinion, absolutely despicable. And I think that we should be above that. To try to assign reality or any meaning to a homicidal maniac writing a manifesto, which, by the way, let the record show, also stated Spyro the Dragon, the child's cartoon, as a source of inspiration.
Oh, man. Guys, I'm being quiet here because I want to fully understand what's being said here, and because this is only a clip, but I just kind of want to fully get an understanding of what's going on in the video. So me being silent is just me taking everything in, and then I'm going to give you my honest opinion in the end, okay?
Cited Nelson Mandela as a source of information. I don't think that Nelson Mandela has inspired mosque shootings. You can correct me if you think I'm wrong. You would rather assign meaning to a homicidal maniac than to actually address that the things that I said today that are actually harming Black America. Number 1, father absence. Number 2, the education system and the illiteracy rate. Illegal immigration ranks high, abortion ranks high, white supremacy and white nationalism, if I had to make a list again of 100 things, would not be on it. This hearing, in my opinion, is a farce, and it is ironic that you're sitting here and you're having 3 Caucasian people testify and tell you what their expertise are. Do I know what my expertise are? Black in America. I've been Black in America my whole life, all 30 years, and I can tell you that you guys have done the exact same thing every 4 years ahead of an election cycle, and it needs to stop.
Ooh, okay. Ooh, she went in. She went in. Candace Owens, man. I'm not very familiar with her, I'm gonna lie. And I just want to preface this video with, I don't have a political background. I'm just gonna say that flat out. I don't have a political background. I don't know that much. You know, I know somewhat about politics and stuff. I keep up, you know, informed on what's currently going on at times and things like that. But to say that I follow politics or study politics or know anything about it, I'm not even gonna pretend like I know about it. What I am though is Black, so I can weigh in on being Black in America and how, you know, I've been affected, my family's been affected being Black in America when it comes to, you know, white people and things like that. So my personal opinion, guys, I fully agree with Candace Owens on this. I completely agree with her on everything she said. With that, what I'm basically trying to say, guys, is, does white supremacy exist? Of course, there are white supremacists in the world. No one's saying that they don't exist. No one's saying that there isn't an issue there. Obviously, they exist. No one's saying that racism doesn't exist and that things like that aren't a problem. Is it the problem? Is it the big problem? No, I don't believe it is. And it is very odd to have, I don't know what it is, and they do this all the time. I know exactly what she's talking about with the election and stuff like that, where, no offense to white people, but white people come in and try to speak on behalf of Black people and tell them what's ailing them and what is the problem in their community and things like that. It's not, how can you tell us what our problem is in our community? You haven't spent even 2 seconds in this skin. You have no clue what it's like to be black in America. You just don't. And you really don't know what all the issue is. She hit the nail on the head. An absence of fathers is a huge thing in the black community. People make skits on it, make jokes about it. It's so common. Everybody knows that, yes, there is a huge absence of fathers in the black community. Education, it really is horrible, especially just public schools in general is horrible, but obviously the inner city schools and things like that, where unfortunately a large amount of black people are, it's awful. The schools are awful. By the grace of God, I didn't actually have to go to inner city school, but I went to public school, and the regular public schools are awful. They barely teach anything. The teachers, they're doing the best they can, but it's just not working. It really isn't. You're not learning. I don't believe the students are learning to the best of their ability. So absolutely, those two things alone, she said, far outrank white supremacy. I'm sorry, but as a black person, I rarely run into acts of terror, domestic terrorism through white supremacy. I really don't. I rarely ever run into those issues or problems. I honestly, I've never even been called the N-word to my face, at least by anybody else. Okay, I've heard it obviously and stuff like that. I've never even experienced that. So for them to try to tell the black community what it is that's the problem and what they need help with, it's ridiculous. And they do that all the time, trying to garner votes and trying to, rile up the black people and get the black vote, basically. And I would suggest people don't fall for that. Anytime someone of a different race tries to tell you what your race needs to help, to be a help and do better and things like that, it's more than likely trying to garner a vote. They're trying to garner the black people's vote. It's really ridiculous. And like I said, I know I'm late on this video. I don't even know how long ago this video was. I think it was this year. But it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous because obviously, the race is the current presidential race is going on for when Trump's term ends. But it really is ridiculous. This really isn't the main focus for the black community, is white supremacy. I'm sorry. You could hold a poll and ask a ton of black people, have they experienced white supremacy? And the majority of them would say no. That is a very extremist group, white supremacy. A lot of us haven't even dealt with just straight up racism. I can't even say now in some cases, in kind of small, minute cases where you're kind of questioning, is this racism or not racism? I think most black people have dealt with that, but just flat out, just, getting in your face, calling you N-words and just actual acts of terrorism and stuff like that. Most black people have not gone through that, and that is not the big issue going on. And it's just very odd to have, someone who doesn't know what it's like to be black at all try to tell you what the issue is. So I'm in full agreement with her on that. I really don't, now I didn't, obviously this was just a clip and I didn't hear the full video, but absolutely, I'm in full agreement with her. And apparently that's interesting. Two other people actually had to stand up for her because it was painted that she was making this out to be a joke and that she found it hilarious. Obviously the shooting at that church and everything like that, it's not hilarious, and I wholeheartedly believe she wasn't referring to that. But it is hilarious to think that you do have two people here that are not black, have no clue what it's like to be black, probably don't know anything outside of the statistics that have been made up, about black people, to use in this information. They probably know nothing outside of that about what it is to be black. It's really weird to have someone tell you that. And I agree with her. The media and everything, don't let the media fool you. A lot of the media loves to glorify racial issues. It's kind, race baiting and all that kind of stuff. Every single time they glorify and plaster everywhere, black white cop does this to black person, white this does this to black person, white person won't let a black person into their home because they don't know who they are. Am I saying that these things don't happen, that they don't exist? Absolutely not. They happen and they exist everywhere. They happen all the time. But in the amount of large numbers that they're talking about, to the point where it's a huge issue that we need to sit down and have a whole meeting on, stuff like that. No, there are way bigger issues going on. I mean, from the poverty rates going on, all the killing that's going on in Chicago and things like that, like she said, educational, the lack of fathers. It's so many things that are way more prominent and happen way more often than white supremacy. It's not even funny. So yeah, guys, I'm in full agreement with Candace Owens on this. Like I said, no one's belittling anything or saying that it doesn't exist. Yes, there are racist people in the world. Yes, there have been acts of violence and domestic terrorism against black people from white people, but those are so far few and in between all the things that black people go through on a regular day-to-day basis. Education is a day-to-day basis for all black kids and everything like that. It's a regular thing. It's happening every day, and the system is not getting any better. The lack of fathers is happening on a regular basis in the black community. They're just not around, unfortunately. I was blessed. My dad is in my life. I thank God. But a lot of black people do not have that going on in their lives. A lot. Like I said, they make skits about it and joke about it, but it's really not that funny. It's really an awful thing. But those are things that are happening way more often than white supremacy. I bet cash the majority of black people can't even name one white supremacist they've ever met or have been a victim to or anything like that. Like I said, even a lot of people haven't even dealt with the serious, real racist acts, getting their cars tagged with, racial slurs, getting screamed racial slurs at, being just physically disrespected or verbally disrespected out in public, things like that. I know I haven't. I really haven't. Now, little things here and there where I kind of felt like the treatment wasn't fair or I'm being looked at specifically because I'm a black male and things like that. I've had little hints of that here and there. But overall, no. These aren't the issues that... White supremacy is not the big glaring issue that needs to be handled for the black community. And, the news, politicians, Democrats a lot, they really try to hit home on this and really, like I said, I wouldn't fall for it, guys, because it's just to secure the vote. They want to secure the black people's vote. I mean, that's all there is to it for me anyway. But that's my personal opinion, guys. Please let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This was a very interesting video. Shout out to the subscriber who sent this to me or suggested this to me. Very interesting. Like I said, not pretending to be a political person at all, but I can definitely speak on being black in America. I think it's quite clear I can speak on that part anyway, and what the issue is going on in the black community and things like that. I can definitely speak on that. As far as the actual politics and stuff behind all that, I'm not even going to pretend to know about all that kind of stuff, but I can definitely speak on this, and she's just 100% right. And if anybody's going to speak on it, it's going to be a black person. Okay, come on now, you can't. That still blows my mind. The fact that they're actually trying to speak on this for people, all this I'm woke and I can help and stuff like that. Look, we appreciate help, of course, but don't try to tell someone what they need to do or what they need help with, and you haven't lived that life or a day in life in their shoes. Don't use statistics and numbers on a page and stuff like that. And here's the thing, we don't even know how accurate those numbers are. Who knows how many black people they've talked to, how many inner city neighborhoods and everything they've gone into and really paid attention to what's going on in there. Because if they had, I don't think they'd come down to white supremacy. If you really go into the neighborhoods and really paid attention to black culture and the black community, I don't think white supremacy is the first place you're gonna land when trying to figure out what the problem is and why these people seem so oppressed and so many issues going on, like you mentioned, abortions and things like that. I mean, come on. So that blew my mind, definitely. But I'm definitely behind Candace Owens on this. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. All opinions are welcome. Hate it or love it. Dislike the video, like the video. It's all good. It's just my personal opinion, and I love to hear your guys' personal opinion. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys checking out the video. Feel free to show some love, even if you didn't, even if you don't agree. But it's all good either way. Make sure you guys subscribe if you haven't already. Like I said, so close to 2,000 subscribers, 100 away. So excited. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Join the AYS crew. Would love to have you. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next reaction, the next review. I am out. Peace.